Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a hot minute. I don't want to explain what's been going on, but you're probably wondering what the hell? New location, new room, what's going on? Um, Currently at my mother's house, just taking some needed priorities and, just taking some focus elsewhere, just to put it lightly. Um, I'll talk more about it and probably like in a video maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I just figured I'm just gonna do this video just because, there's some topics we need to talk about. Some interesting stuff that's happened and, just wanna also free talk for a little bit just about some of these topics. Um, and I also might put out a review or record a review later tonight, so just an FYI. Now, if you hear something in the background, that's just my little brother in the background. Um, but, um, but yeah, I think we'll just get into this and just see where this goes. So, okay, so we're just gonna go and start and talk about what are we gonna talk about today? Let's talk about the Oscars. Let's get into the Oscars because that's the first thing that happened, and um, yeah, huge recap we're going to get into right now. And I'll say this about the Oscars, just to dive right in. Um, Actually, let me get readjusted. Give me a quick second. All right, I hope this is good. We're just going to get lazy with this. So I'm literally just going to be laying like I'm going to bed. It probably looks uncomfortable, but it works for me. But anyways, let's get into this. Actually, hold on. Wasn't a fan of that anymore. Let's move on. All right, because I just saw on the camera how that looked. Anyways, let's move on. All right, let's get into the Oscars. So the Oscars happened, and mostly what happened is what we thought was going to happen. Um, Not a lot of big surprises, two of which I would say were fairly surprising, which we'll get into. Let's talk about the snubs first because there's always snubs every year, but of course it's all opinion based. So I mean, obviously, my opinion is not the be all and end all of what is the snubs. Obviously, you guys have your own snubs as well as anybody else, but um, I would say that the biggest snub for me was probably best screenplay, best original screenplay. It went to Promising Young Woman, which if you saw my review, I said that it was my main draw from the film was Carey Mulligan. I think that was really the draw for that movie, and really what kept that movie afloat for me, because the screenplay was fine. I mean, that's really the best critique I could give for that screenplay, is that it was really just fine. There wasn't anything um, great about it. It was a fine script that had a really solid performance leading it, and I think that's that to me is what was the strength of Promising Young Woman. It was not the screenplay, so I wouldn't have given it to them. For me, it would have been, because to me the other screenplays that they had nominated that year were way better than Promising Young Woman. I would say that's probably my second least favorite out of the five. Probably my least favorite, because I did like Minari. Um, because the other scripts are great. I think the other ones, what was it? There was Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, Minari, Trial of Chicago 7, and then there was another one. I forgot what the other one was. I forgot. I think was it Mank? It was not Mank. No. Let me look that up real quick. What was best original screenplay? Oscars 2021. And by the way, yes, I did not watch the show. I was at work and I could not watch it. And due to certain circumstances, I just couldn't watch it. But I did skim through it though online, and it didn't look great in terms of a show. It looked pretty scattered. And we'll get into the whole mishap at the end in a quick second here. I just got to get the list up and going on for what is here we go. Best original script. Oh, it was Judas and the Black Messiah. That's what I forgot. So, I guess I can go through these one by one, or just pick these. So, Yeah, I probably would have handed it to Aaron Sorkin, to be honest with you. I thought the screenplay was the one of the highest strengths of the Trial of Chicago 7. Sound of Metal to me was all about Riz Ahmed and the direction. Minari was all about the direction. Judas and the Black Messiah was also due direction and I would say mainly a direction. But I think Trial of Chicago 7's one of its strengths was indeed the screenplay. So I would probably give it to them for that. Um, Not Promising Young Woman. That's I would say to me that's the biggest snub of the night. But everything else went pretty much to plan, or at least to what we thought was going to happen. Daniel Kaluuya won for Judas and the Black Messiah. That was no surprise. Um, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom won a few on the makeup and costume department, which at this point is not super surprising. I thought Mank might have had a chance at those, but I guess Ma Rainey's Black Bottom took those, which once you really take it into account, it's not that surprising. Nomadland, we knew was going to win. We knew it was going to win Best Picture. We knew it was going to win Best Director. But now let's get into the lead performances, because that was, of course, the big um, shock of the night. Some people have been saying cinematography was also a big shock. I, I wouldn't agree because there was momentum for Mank in that category. I mean, I personally would have given it to Nomadland, to be honest with you, because out of those five, to be honest with you, there's only two out of those five that I think were really solid, but which was Nomadland and Mank. I think both those had really, really good cinematography, but the other three I honestly don't think were that great. Um, but yeah, so I don't think it's super surprising that Mank won because I heard a lot of momentum for it coming into it. So not super surprising, nor for the production design. Mank had excellent production design, so that was not surprising to me. What was surprising though was the coming to the last bit of the show, which was okay. So the first thing that happened that already threw people off guard, which was um, so traditionally, the Oscars is laid out where you have Best Picture as the last thing of the night, the big award of the night. So apparently, they did not set up the show like that this year. So they had it as Best Picture being the third to last prize to be shown at the show, which is already strange enough because now we're now presenting Best Picture before two other categories then follow that. What were those two categories? Well, they were the lead acting categories, Best Actress and Best Actor, and um, both of which were a shock because I don't think anyone expected these two to win. One of them I would say was expecting a little bit, but the other one not really, especially with the momentum that was surrounding that category. Um, and we're going to talk more about the really the mistake that came with that decision of setting up the ceremony like that. But anyways, let's get into it. So lead actress went to Frances McDormand for Nomadland, which out of those five, let me remind myself because I have the doc up here. Let me see. Um, who was Best Actress? What was the? I gotta remember. What was the Best Actress category again? I'm just trying to remember what was on that list. Here we go. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I thought she was fine. I didn't love her in that film. I think we'll talk more about Chadwick in a second, but the Viola Davis was fine. Andrew Day I did not see, so I cannot say anything. Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman. That's probably my least favorite out of the five. I think that she was fine at best. The only one that I think that had a legitimate shot to taking that prize was Carey Mulligan. I think that she had a legitimate shot to get it this year. Um, I know there's surrounding for Viola Davis, but I don't. That's just for me. I didn't think it was a great performance. So I mean, I didn't. I wouldn't hand it to her. But between the two, Frances McDormand and Carey Mulligan, I am not upset at all that Frances McDormand won. I didn't love Nomadland, as I said repeatedly. I've not loved Nomadland. I know it's been sweeping everywhere, but I wasn't big on it. I thought it was visually stunning. And I think that also Frances McDormand did put in a solid performance. And I don't think that structurally, and the editing is bad. I don't get why it was nominated. But yeah, it wasn't it wasn't as gripping and effective as I wanted it to be. But Frances McDormand was great, and I will admit that. I would, I am not upset that she won. So that wasn't super shocking to me that she won. But the big shock of the night obviously was Best Actor, which was, to recap, we had Rez Ahmed. These are the nominees. Rez Ahmed for Sound of Metal, which I think should have won. I think he was the best performance in terms of a male performance last year. Rez Ahmed was easily the best male performer of the year. I loved his performance in Sound of Metal. And then, of course, we got Chadwick Boseman with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which you guys already know my thoughts on that. I think it was a good performance, and I think it's probably the best he's put in his career. I don't think it was worthy of an Oscar nomination, but hey, it's here. Anthony Hopkins for The Father, which we'll talk about in a second. Gary Oldman in Mank, which I also thought was a solid performance, and Stephen Young in Minari, which I also thought was a solid performance. So all these performances are solid. So I honestly have no issue with any of these guys winning, to be honest with you. Even though I just talked a little ill on Chadwick, I wouldn't have made a stink if he won, because these are all good performances in my book. However, the one who did win was the shock, Anthony Hopkins for The Father. I love The Father. The Father is my favorite film of the year so far, as you guys know. I did a review, and I love the film. I think it is just structurally just fantastic. I love how the film is set up. I love the performances. I think that the resonance is there. I think that the grip is there. The engagement is there. It is just excellent. It's very well crafted too. I think that it also won for screenplay for adapted screenplay, which I'm glad it did, because the screenplay is great as well. I do wish, though. Let me see if they did get nominated, because I forget if they did get nominated or not. If what's his name, Florin Zeller, I believe that's his name. Did he get nominated? He did not. I would have nominated him for director, because it was so skillfully directed, that film. It was like you could not mess up anything in that project, because then it would have fell so short. Because both him and Anthony Hopkins is what made that film work so well, and I think that Anthony just brought it. And now, obviously, came the big, WTF moment, which was that they had to put Best Actor last. Now, why did they do that? Well, obviously, it's because they, not obviously. Let me back up. So apparently the show's, this is where I get into my big issue with this year's Oscars, and I hope that this is not something that's happened in previous years. I just hope that this is just this 1 year. But if this Oscars has showed us anything, there is a huge disconnect between the show's crew and voting committee, because the crew, in my opinion, should have been informed on who was winning, so they didn't have to plan out the ceremony based on an assumption, because that's basically what happened. They planned out the show assuming that Chadwick Boseman was going to win, and that's why they set up the show to end on Best Actor, because they thought that Chadwick was going to win, because everyone else was saying that, and they wanted to set up this big emotional tribute for the end, but that did not happen. And because of that, the show became really awkward at the end. And like Joaquin Phoenix just says, Anthony won. He's not here. Good night, guys. Like, it was a really awkward end to the Oscars. And the show in general was very lackluster. Like, in how it was like just assembled, overall presentation. Like, it just felt like stuff just came and went. There wasn't a big, how do I say it? I'm trying to find a good word for it. Sorry if my nose is stuffy. It's just, just I guess got up from a nap or something. I don't know. No COVID, I swear. Um, but hopefully not. But what am I trying to say? Yeah, I know. Okay, so the show's presentation for me was, how do I say it? It just felt like a bunch of people just came up, said names, and left. It didn't feel like that there was a lot of uh, it didn't feel as festive. There's the word I'm looking for. It didn't feel as festive this year. It just felt kind of like, hey, let's just get these names out, let's just get these awards out, and let's just get the heck out of here. Like that's really what it felt like. And um, and it's also now I didn't know this until today, or I think yesterday, that this is now the lowest viewed Oscars show in history. It is that, like, it was a bad rating, poor ratings and poor viewership. Like nobody went to see this Oscar show. Um, Nobody did, and I can't blame anybody. I mean, it's not to say the quality sucked. Like the movies were bad. The movies were great. I think most of these movies on here were very good, apart from a few which I think were okay at best, or solid, I would say. Again, like let's get to the best picture list. Like I can just tell you right now, some films I thought were really good and some films I thought were average. Okay, like first one up, The Father. The Father's my favorite film of this year, and I've said. Judas and the Black Messiah I thought is also one of my favorite films of this year. Mank, which I think was not a great film, but I still appreciate a lot of the technical efforts that went into Mank. Minari, I really liked. Nomadland, I thought, again, you just heard my thoughts on Nomadland. Promising Young Woman, I thought was very performance based. Sound of Metal was one of my favorite films of last year, and Trial of Chicago 7 was also one of my favorites, if not, I believe, an honorable mention. So, this is a solid list. I think that what they had nominated this year was solid work. It's just that with the pandemic and with a lot of other stuff surrounding just our world, I just think that people just kind of just didn't give a shit about watching the Oscars this year. And I think that's unfortunate, because I think that there actually was some very good work produced last year, despite what the media and what everyone else might say online. I think that there was a lot of great work. I mean, go look at my list. I think that for my list from like 2020, in terms of what was the best work of last year, and I really think that work is actually really good, and I think more people should go and watch that work. Particularly Never, Really, Sometimes, Always. I loved that film. Um, but yeah, the Oscars this year overall was just kind of meh at best. It was okay, but the wins went as we expected. But the whole Anthony Hopkins win was great for him, but it was poor decision making on the crew members' part. But what can you do? So, but anyways, let's get into the next topics. Next topic we're gonna get into, following the Oscars. We had our first trailer shown for West Side Story, the Steven Spielberg remake, starring Ansel Elgort. Had its first trailer, very brief trailer, like I think like just a minute. More like a small, like little TV spot at best. Um, and sorry, I'm just getting a little situated here. Um, I thought the trailer. Actually, let me tell you a funny story real quick about West Side Story. Um, so I don't know if I told you this guys' story before on a separate video. I don't know if we ever talked about West Side Story on this channel before, but um, I actually almost auditioned for this movie. um, 2 years ago, I remember hearing, maybe it was like a year or two ago. I don't remember how long ago. Um, I forget how long it was when they filmed this thing, but I'm gonna say like 2 years ago, because I remember being in high school um, when I saw the forums and I saw the applications for Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. This is when, I believe at this point, Ansel Elgort had been cast in the film, so I do remember him being on that list of already chosen and stuff. at that point, I don't think that they had all the other people rounded up yet. So I remember for like a moment thinking, you know what, I'm gonna audition. Because one, it's fucking Steven Spielberg, and two, um, it's maybe be interesting just to try out something different. Um, Somehow my brain did not register what West Side Story was, and my luckily my brain kicked in, and I finally realized, oh yeah, this is a musical. I cannot sing to save my life, nor can I dance to save my life. Um, because you ever have like that strong confidence as a child where you can just go and dance and sing, and you can kind of get away with it because you're a child, but now when you're an adult it just looks fucking cringy. So you know I'm very very self-aware about how skillful I am in terms of those like dancing and singing. Those I know. Like if you ask me to dance, I'm probably gonna say no because I'm not good at dancing, nor can I sing. um, but yeah, I almost auditioned for this movie. Probably no chance in hell would I have made it, but I am, um, you know, I guess cool, a little interesting story nonetheless. But transitioning from that story into talking about that trailer for West Side Story, I will say this: it's a very brief trailer, so I cannot give a full opinion on how I think it looks, but I will say this: there's one element to this trailer that I did like, which was the music. I really think that the music stood out a lot to me, both from a composing standpoint and from the vocals from the performers. So I think that that element sounds great. Um, Production wise, I have to see because I'm a bit 50-50 on it. The opening shot of the trailer looked great, but overall, I need to see more. I also need to see the interactions between the performers because I think Ansel Elgort is a good performer for what I've seen him in. Baby Driver, hell, even though The Goldfinch was bad. Remember The Goldfinch? Remember that film that everyone thought was like gonna be like another like Oscar like film that was gonna come out and then turn out to be like really really shitty. Um, yeah, I remember he was solid in that film too. So I mean, he's a decent performer. I'm afraid of him being the lead of this because Baby Driver he didn't have to do too much as with that character. I mean, he had to be very still a lot of times. He didn't have to be overly expressive or how should I say it, actively involved, I guess. Like this is a very active role, so I'm very curious to see how he's going to play this out. By the way, did anyone see the I forget her name, but I think she's a newcomer. One of the actresses from this movie apparently filmed their reaction to the trailer live when the Oscars came out. It was very very cute. Um, but yeah, I think that the trailer looks promising. I will say that. I think there are elements to it that I like, and then there's elements where I just need to wait and see. I just need to wait for a full trailer to get a proper analysis and proper critique on it. Because right now I'm just like, it looks good. I mean, it looks promising. So there's that. I'm gonna blow my nose after this. I'm very sorry if my sniffling is annoying you. I'm very sorry about that. But speaking of trailers that I need to wait for full trailers on, the Tomorrow War trailer have dropped, I believe, today, which is Wednesday. I'm going to post this video up on Thursday, just letting you know. The Tomorrow War trailer starring Chris Pratt, and I believe J.K. Simmons is also in it. Directed by Chris McKay, who also directed the Lego Batman movie. And I believe he's also still working on the Nightwing film, which at this point, who the hell knows if that film's even existing at this point. If you guys don't know, Amazon actually bought out the film, I believe, for like $200 million, which is like one of the biggest streaming deals that they've made. And it is coming out on July 2nd, so they expect this thing to be a big summer hit. And again, it's very brief. I think it's even shorter than the West Side Story trailer. I think it's even less than a minute. So Yeah, I can't give a proper critique. I'll just say this: it looks like it reminds me a lot of Terminator in terms of the premise. It also reminds me a little bit of it reminds me of Terminator, but take out the robots and replace them with aliens. That's basically like what it like your typical alien invasion movie, like your Independence Days or other things like that. Um, it looks okay. I mean, again, I need to see a full trailer to get more ideas of what I'm watching, but um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I can't really give too much on it. I really can't. Um, all I can say is that deal was crazy that they made for with Amazon, the $200 million deal. That was crazy. But yeah. Did anyone also see the Christoph Waltz directorial? Sorry, I can't talk today. Directorial debut trailer for what was it called? I think it's called Georgetown. I think that's what the film's called. It looks okay. It looks okay. I mean, it looks promising. At first I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, but um, it looks okay. It looks okay. You guys let me know how you guys felt about that trailer too. It looked okay. But speaking of other films, let's get into our last two topics for today, and then I'm going to blow my nose. So, all right. Second to last topic that we're going to talk about is also retaining back to the Oscars. When talking about West Side Story dropping their trailer there, they also made an announcement about a remake in the works for Another Round, which, by the way, won the Oscar for International Film, which damn deserved it because I fucking loved Another Round. It was one of my favorite movies of last year. Now it apparently is getting a US remake. Apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio's production company is looking to develop the idea, and also Leonardo DiCaprio himself is looking to possibly star in the remake. Um, Now, according to Thomas Vinterberg, who is the director of the film, which, by the way, he gave the best Oscar speech by far and away. He gave the best Oscar speech at this year's Oscars. Um, he says that the project is a different approach with a different culture, and it is apparently, from what I hear, he's not involved. So, or maybe he's a producer. I'm not sure, but um, this all sounds. I don't usually use this word a lot, but it sounds damaging. And here's why. Because I don't know a lot of people who have seen Another Round, the actual Another Round with Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know a lot of people who have seen that film. So this is going to be the film that people are going to refer to when they hear that name. Because, if Leonardo DiCaprio is going to star in it, that name is obviously going to get more recognition and much more appeal versus something like a Mads Mikkelsen in Another Round. And also from a foreign country. So, because I really don't want the story to be potentially tarnished by a Scorsese type movie, because this to me all sounds like them taking a more radical, extreme approach to this versus doing something creative and something more resonant than they did with Another Round. I'm not looking for a Wolf of Wall Street 2. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not looking for Wolf of Wall Street 2. So I don't want that to be the case for Another Round when they do this remake, and if Leonardo DiCaprio is going to star in this, which if his production company is behind it, I mean it sounds like a good role for him too, but at the same time, I mean I don't know why this is getting a remake now. I mean it's just like very very soon. And it's such a passion project for Thomas, so I'm surprised that he's allowing a remake to even happen. Um, but I guess it's not really his right to do that. To hold, I don't know what rights he has to the film, um, but yeah, um, this sounds okay at best. I mean, I have to see footage. I have to see what their angle on it is. Hear more story details on it, because as of right now, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what they're possibly going to do with this. Again, if it's Wolf of Wall Street 2, I'm going to check out. But if it actually is something much more appealing and a lot more creative, then I might be interested. But we shall see. All right, now, but our last topic for today is about the Monsterverse. because everyone knows that Godzilla vs. Kong is doing really well, at least to pandemic standards, it's doing fairly well. Well, it looks like, as everyone suspected, WB and Legendary is looking to move forward with the next Monsterverse film. Now, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the title being thrown around is Son of Kong. Now, this is one of possible projects being talked about with Adam. So, also with the story coming out is that Adam Wingard, who is the director of Godzilla vs. Kong, is also being in talks to return to helm another one of these films, and that film possibly being Son of Kong. Now, Adam could just possibly just pass on this and move on to something else. I mean, this is not going to happen for a while. Just Sam, or sorry, not Sam. Adam right now is very busy with other projects. He will be directing Thundercats, which is going to take probably a lot of his time. He's also possibly directing, I believe, a sequel to Face Off. So, dude's got his hands full of a lot of things already. So I don't think that he's going to be jumping right into another huge MonsterVerse film, which is probably going to probably end up being another 3-year dedication at best. But Son of Kong, interesting that they're looking to do that possibly as their next film. I thought they would just move forward with like Godzilla 3 or something. But hey, if Son of Kong is their route, then I mean, it's the MonsterVerse. I don't expect there to be too much continuity on this stuff. If you try to look at it too hard, you're probably going to hate this stuff. But because I enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong just for the pure spectacle of it. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. No, but I think that for face value, for fun, I thought it did its job, and that's ultimately what I walked into with the MonsterVerse. Not really expecting too much. But if they're going to do Son of Kong, if they're going to introduce another Kong, which will go against the entire thread of Kong being the last of his kind, but whatever, then it'll be an interesting approach to see. But you know, I don't know. I mean, I thought they would move forward with Godzilla 3. I'm surprised that they would tackle Son of Kong. But there you go. So. Alrighty, guys. So that is pretty much it for this video for today. We talked a lot about the Oscars. We talked about some trailers and some other news out and about. What are you guys' thoughts on all this stuff? Sorry if I'm kind of wishy-washy today. I'm just wishy-washy. And, you know, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And just let me know your thoughts on all this stuff. And remember, be safe, be protected, wash your hands, social distancing. And I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. Hopefully we'll be in a better place, a better location to do videos and stuff, but who knows. Alrighty, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Be safe out there, and have a good night. Peace.